Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking past the big battles, the end of the war. What happens after?
Exactly. It's not just about victory parades. It's about the messy, complicated, sometimes really quiet aftermath. The aftershocks, you could say.
That's what we're digging into, the end of the War of the Ring, using, well, the main story, of course, but also digging into those appendices and the Return of the King.
Which are just full of incredible details. People sometimes skip them, but they add so much depth, you really need them to grasp the full picture.
Yeah. So our mission today, we want to explore the full scope of the victory, but also the personal cost for the heroes, you know?
The healing, the rebuilding.
And those final kind of bittersweet moments for characters we love. We'll see how small actions sometimes had huge consequences.
It's a journey, really.
Yeah.
From the epic scale down to the personal, and then back out to rebuilding a world.
Okay, let's start where the New Age really begins to dawn, Gondor. Aragorn's now got this immense responsibility.
Yeah, right in the heart of it all.
It's a realm saved, but I imagine pretty broken.
Definitely. And Aragorn steps into that. His crowning as King Elisar, it's more than just putting on a crown, isn't it?
This feels like a massive symbol.
It is. The text paints him as tall as the sea kings of old. There's this sense of restoration, of real leadership after centuries of stewards. Wisdom, strength, healing. It's all there.
And speaking of symbols, the white tree, finding that sapling, Gandalf leads him up Mount Mindodon.
Yes. And that sapling is a direct link all the way back to the two trees of Valinor through Nimlock. It's ancient history coming alive again.
What's the deeper meaning there, beyond just, planting a new tree?
Well, Gandalf himself, and this is where the appendices help, he points out the tree was hidden, just like Aragorn's own lineage was hidden away in the north.
Okay, so finding it is like...
It's finding the lost kingship, the lost wisdom. It's a living symbol that the rightful line, the ancient ways, are back. Is breathing life back into Gondor's heritage.
And Aragorn doesn't just rule from a throne. He gets his hands dirty, quite literally, with the healing.
Right, the Aphelis, King's foil, using it to heal Faramir, Éowyn, from the Black Breath.
That old saying, the hands of a king are the hands of a healer. It's not just a metaphor here.
Not at all. And it's interesting, the herb master in the Houses of Healing kind of dismisses Aphelis, calls it a common weed.
Right, I remember that.
It shows Aragorn sees value where others don't. True leadership, maybe? Recognizing quiet power. He literally wakes Éowyn saying, the shadow is gone.
And his judgment, too, like with Baragon. Baragon broke the rules big time.
Yeah.
Left his post, spilled blood in the Hallows. Technically, that's death, isn't it?
It is a capital offense. He did it to save Faramir from Denethor's madness, but still.
Yeah, Aragorn.
What does he do?
He acknowledges the crime, yes. But then he makes Baragon captain of Faramir's own guard, the White Company, in Ithilien.
Wow.
It's mercy, but it's also incredibly wise justice, redirecting loyalty and courage instead of just punishing. Baragon is, as the book says, glad and leaves in joy. Shows Aragorn gets his people. Such a contrast to the despair that came before. We have to touch on Denethor. His fall during the siege. It's so bleak.
Oh, utterly bleak. Consumed by grief, manipulated by Sauron through the Palantir, he just gives up hope completely.
Thinks everything is lost. Tries to burn himself in Faramir.
Gandalf manages to save Faramir, thankfully, but Denethor. He goes into the fire. His last words are basically, Gondor as you knew it is over. Chilling.
And then, like a thunderclap, the Rohirrim arrive. The horns echoing. That's a turning point.
A massive turning point. But what's easy to forget is how they got there.
The wild men, right. Gondorigan.
Exactly. The Wozes. Guiding them through secret paths, avoiding the main enemy forces, an alliance nobody expected.
Shows how help can come from anywhere.
Absolutely. Gondorigan basically says, we're wild, not stupid.
Yeah.
Ancient knowledge saving the day.
Okay, now the really iconic moment. The Witch King fight. The prophecy. Not by the hand of man shall he fall.
And who fulfills it? A woman, Éowyn in disguise and a hobbit, Mary. It completely flips the script on heroism.
How did that actually play out? It happened so fast in the heat of battle.
Well, the Witch King is terrifyingly powerful. He shatters Éowyn's shield, breaks her arm. She's nearly overcome.
But then Mary,
with his sudden courage, stabs him from behind, right in the sinew of his knee, with that special barrow blade, remember?
Ah, yes. The blade made specifically against Angmar.
That blow seems to be the key. It breaks the spell, or weakens him somehow, enough for Éowyn, despite her injury, to thrust her sword between his crown and mantle.
And he just vanishes, leaving nothing but the cloak and armor.
Just that terrifying shriek fading away, an incredible victory, but right after, Theoden dies.
A noble death, though. And his last words to Merry.
So moving. He thanks Merry, calls him brave, forgives him for disobeying orders to ride into battle. Great heart will not be denied. It shows deep respect.
So from those huge moments in Gondor, let's shift focus deep into Mordor, to Frodo and Sam's journey. This is much more personal, isn't it?
Oh, incredibly personal. Agonizing, really.
Yeah.
Far from any battles or kings
Yeah.
and Samwise Gamgee is just the heart of it here.
When Frodo gets captured at Cirith Ungol, Sam's search for him, facing those watchers.
Those things are nightmare fuel. But Sam confronts them. And how does he beat them? Not with a sword, really.
The File of Galadriel.
Yes, he holds it up and it's light. It makes their evil will just falter, crumble into fear. He walks right past them.
It shows that light and courage can penetrate even the deepest darkness.
Absolutely. But the journey itself is brutal. Frodo is really suffering, the ring's influence growing stronger.
That awful moment where he accuses Sam of being a thief?
Yeah, his eyes were wide with fear and enmity. He sees Sam as an orc for a moment. It's heartbreaking. Shows how deep the ring's poison goes.
It's Sam. He holds on to hope. There's that beautiful moment where he looks up and sees a star.
A single white star, twinkling through the clouds of Mordor. And it hits him.
What does he realize?
That in the end, the shadow was only a small and passing thing. There was light and high beauty forever beyond its reach. It's this pure moment of perspective, of hope, right in the middle of hell, basically.
That keeps him going. Which brings us to Mount Doom, the climax.
Frodo's final climb. He's utterly spent, physically and mentally. He makes it to the cracks of doom.
But he can't do it. He claims the ring. The ring is mine.
The ring finally wins that internal battle. Even Frodo, after everything, couldn't willingly destroy it at the very end.
And then Gollum.
Gollum attacks. Desperate, obsessed, bites Frodo's finger off, seizing the ring.
But in his crazed joy,
He loses his balance, tumbles into the fire, taking the ring with him.
the irony is just staggering.
It really is. Evil literally consuming itself in its moment of triumph. It wasn't destroyed by heroic will, ultimately, but by its own desperate greed. Destiny works in weird ways.
And the effect is instant, right? Barad-dûr collapsing.
Total chaos. Sauron's tower falls, his armies just stop. Their will, his will, is gone. They're suddenly filled with fear and despair, like puppets with their strings cut.
A terrifying display of how total his control is.
Mm-hmm. And then the rescue. The eagles.
The eagles are coming, Gandalf cries out, Gwaihir and Landroval.
Swooping down into the fire and smoke, grabbing Frodo and Sam just as the land starts to break apart. A moment of pure grace, unexpected salvation.
A reminder that help can arrive even when all seems lost.
Definitely. A power beyond the immediate conflict stepping in.
Okay, so the ring is gone, Sauron is defeated, the heroes journey home, expecting peace, maybe.
You'd think so. But they get back to the Shire and it's not right.
This is the scouring of the Shire, and it's not orcs this time.
No, it's men. Ruffians.
Hmm.
And behind them, pulling the strings, Saruman. Or Sharky, as they call him.
It must have been devastating. Their safe, quiet home, corrupted.
Totally. Trees cut down, the party tree gone. The mill is spewing filth into the river, a purpose, the text says. New petty rules, enforced by thuggish sheriffs. It's an insidious kind of evil.
Hitting them right where they live, it's almost more personal than fighting orcs in a far-off land.
Exactly. It's a different kind of test. Not epic battle, but defending your home from bullies and decay.
But the hobbits have changed, haven't they? Merry and Pippin especially.
They absolutely have. They use their experience from Rohan and Gondor. They organize the other hobbits, lead the resistance. They're not just the naive youngsters anymore.
Which leads to the Battle of Bywater, a hobbit-sized war, but deadly serious for them.
They fight back, drive out the ruffians, but Frodo, even here, his stance is crucial.
Mercy again.
Always mercy. I wish for no killing, he says. Even of the ruffians. Unless it's absolutely necessary to protect hobbits, it's consistent with everything he's been through.
And the final confrontation. Saruman and Wormtongue, cornered at Bag End.
Saruman is just pathetic, but still so malicious, taunting everyone, especially Wormtongue, trying to inflict pain, even in total defeat.
He really pushes Wormtongue too far.
He does. Calls him names, orders him around, and Wormtongue finally snaps, pulls a knife, kills Saruman right there.
And then Wormtongue himself is shot down by hobbit archers as he tries to run.
A really squalid, nasty end for both of them. A great wizard brought down by his own bitterness and cruelty, killed by the servant he abused.
Grim. But after that, the Shire starts to heal.
It does. The year 1420, the year after they return, is described as marvelous, Amazing weather, incredible harvest.
The beer was legendary, apparently.
Ah, yes, the 1420 malt, and lots of healthy, golden-haired children born. Nature itself seems to rebound. And Sam's gift from Galadriel, the box of earth, plays a big role in that restoration, planting new trees, including the new party tree.
Sam really comes into his own, doesn't he? Marries Rosie Cotton, becomes mayor.
He does. He finds fulfillment, raises a family, becomes a respected figure. But Frodo,
Frodo's different. He's quieter. He carries the wounds.
yeah, the invisible hurt, the text calls it, the physical wounds from the Morgul knife and Shelob, and the deeper wound from the ring. He saved the Shire, but he can't fully enjoy the peace himself.
Which leads us to those final departures and legacies, the bittersweet part.
Very bittersweet, the scene at the Grey Havens.
Yeah.
It's just profoundly sad, but also beautiful.
Frodo, Bilbo, Gandalf, Elrond, Galadriel, sailing away. And the three rings are visible then, aren't they?
For the last time in Middle-earth, Narya on Gandalf, Vilya on Elrond, Nenya on Galadriel. It's truly the end of an age, the passing of the Eldar and the ring bearers.
Sam watching Frodo leave. Heartbreaking.
It is, but there's that understanding, that tradition, that Sam, as the last ring bearer, would eventually be granted passage too. Frodo smells the sweet air, hears the singing from across the sea. He's going to a place of healing.
But not all endings are separations. Legolas and Gimli, their friendship is amazing.
Truly remarkable. A dwarf and an elf becoming inseparable. Remember Gimli on the paths of the dead? Terrified, but pushed on by Aragorn's will and, as Legolas says, by the love of him also?
And Legolas gets that sea longing from the goals.
Which eventually leads him to build a ship and sail west. And the story goes, incredibly, that Gimli went with him. A dwarf allowed into the Undying Lands because of his friendship with Legolas and his love for Galadriel. It's unprecedented.
What about Merry and Pippin?
They live long, respected lives. They maintain ties with Rohan and Gondor, become Master of Buckland and Thane of the Shire, respectively. And when they die, they're buried in Rathdinan, the tombs of the kings and stewards in Minas Tirith.
Wow, a huge honor for hobbits.
Shows the immense respect they earned. They became figures of renown in the wider world.
And Sam, we know he becomes mayor, has his family, guards the Red Book.
Yes, he has a very full, happy life in the Shire. He becomes the keeper of their story, ensuring it's remembered. He really does inherit Frodo's legacy in a way, living the peaceful life Frodo couldn't fully grasp.
But that lingering point about Frodo, the cost of heroism, it's important not to forget that.
Absolutely crucial. His suffering, the invisible hurt, it necessitates his departure. Middle-earth, even the restored Shire, can't fully heal him. He needs the Undying Lands for that peace. It's a stark reminder that saving the world comes at a terrible price for some.
And there are other slow changes too, right? The Dúnedain, their waning continues.
Yes, the appendices mention that. Even with Aragorn as king, the long, slow decline of the Númenórean bloodline in Middle-earth continues. It's just the natural course of things as the world moves into the age of men. The gifts fade. It's another layer of bittersweetness. Victory doesn't stop time or change.
So looking back at this whole deep dive, we've seen how a massive war ends, but the stories definitely don't stop there.
Not at all. It's all about restoration, healing, but also about dealing with the scars and how small people, unexpected heroes, really shape everything.
Individual courage matters just as much in rebuilding a garden as it does on a battlefield, maybe.
I think that's a key insight, yeah. True victory isn't just winning the fight. It's the hard work afterwards. Choosing to heal, choosing to rebuild, choosing mercy. That's what makes the peace last.
Right. They faced this immense darkness and found light not just in huge victories, but in friendship, in stubborn hope, even just seeing a star in Mordor. So maybe the thought to leave you with is this. What are the gray havens we look for after our own struggles? What does healing the Shire look like in our lives?
And perhaps, what are those seemingly small acts of courage or kindness that might actually be the most powerful things we can do to create our own marvelous years? Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the aftermath.